Colombo, Sri Lanka, and the negotiation of garbage.
Tea bag outer package. Drinking straw wrapper. Brown sugar bag. White sugar bag. Package of chili powder. Package of cinnamon. Package of fennel. Heavy plastic bag.
At the beginning, it was just like really bad. There was like garbage everywhere you go, and they would not come to pick it up when you're there. But now they want us to be organized. So like
the thing is, there are bins actually available to separate trash. So you got your plastic, your cardboard, just general food waste.
Sorting thing.
Yeah, the sorting out, of course.
Maybe 1 year, 1.5 years, I think it's happening now.
It's not new. It's a couple of years ago it's happened.
Couple of years ago, actually, after the war. Maybe like 2013, 14 is when I remember that. But it's still not done all over the country.
When I was in school also years ago, and it's like that. It's same like this.
paper goes in one bin and plastic goes in another, organic goes in another, and other stuff like glass and stuff goes in another. But then everything is just dumped together, and I don't see why they have to like separate it.
This was somewhere last year, really, somewhere in the middle of last year.
The disaster happened.
Yeah, I remember that thing.
The landslide was a big deal because they just kept on piling over it, and then there was no proper thing where they can actually squash it down. Nothing. I think nobody thought about how high they could go, maybe, and that resulted in.
I don't know. I really didn't see
dividing the garbage, having separate
people get really angry about
it's
it.
like it's too close. I think getting all of the organized.
And after something happens, they can like say, "Oh my God,
what government did was
So I'm sure at some point.
So I try not to like
I do
just
feel
but I
actually like they feel better because I have seen it.
and after something happens, they can like say, "Oh my God."
But also like there's one garbage guy.
We had this fairly significant incident in Colombo where this huge garbage sort of dump or mountain of garbage collapsed in on itself, or just collapsed. There was like a big sort of a landslide in this mountain of garbage, and it really destroyed quite a big community of low-income kind of settlements around this dump. So until this point, being a developing or not first world nation, recycling situation was pretty bad. We would just put all the rubbish in like polythene bags and just dump it in this. That's what the system was. So I think what happened was like this this mountain of polythene bags rubbing against each other just slid. So it's after that everyone's eyes opened about this new phenomenon called recycling and sorting out garbage. So since then, this was about middle of last year, we've been the government's trying to put in a plan to collect garbage, like sorted and garbage and recycle. I think we are still, this is still like a adjusting phase. Infrastructure is not strong enough and not organized enough to kind of manage sorted garbage.
I'm
Yes,
sure at
plastic
some point it gets
bottles,
mixed up.
paper.
The thing is, if there's that kind of dump, that kind of thing there, what kind of thing people do all those years?
Now it's of course mostly juicy
And after something happen, they can like say, "Oh my God, give us to this
The
kind
thing
of
is, we
money."
still don't have recycling
Plastic bags.
Plastic
Polythene.
plastics, bottles.
with plastic.
We just don't have a house now. These kind of things happen.
Plastic
Plastics.
plastics.
What happened in the years?
Plastic.
Plastic bags.
Plastic.
I carry my own bag.
Plastic bags.
Government is the main problem. They
Plastics,
didn't make
bottles.
anything.
Polythene.
Garbage.
Bags. Bags.
Plastic bags.
Plastic.
Bags.
Polythene.
Trucks of plastic.
Waxed cookie. Bag of ice. Purple plastic bag. Medium plastic bag. Large plastic bag. Small plastic bag without handles. Extra large plastic bag. Yellow plastic bag. Red plastic bag. Small plastic bag with handles. Yogurt container. Juice box. Coffee package. Bag of peanuts. Bag of chickpea, savory biscuits. Package of ginger biscuit. Soap wrapper. Brand cracker package. Mango juice bottle. Potato chip bag. paper cup lid.
Paper bags, and we call it paper sacks or something. In Sinhala it's botu. What we do is I will just show you something like this. This is how they use. And these are used for rice, sugar, and even little bit of peanut, different sizes, or mostly paper and newspaper, used newspaper. That was the history, I think. When was it that? Till about when we were young, till about what time?
Can't remember.
Anyway, now 70s probably.
Even when we were in the university?
Even when we were in the university, that is early 70, still we had this. And little by little it came. I think 70s came very slowly and suddenly it picked up. It was the convenience, I think, the people. And even the pharmacies, they used to give little small paper bags. I can see that they have returned to that.
Still they are using those little paper bags.
Traditional one is very effective. They do very fast, like this, do that. And even they tie it with gunny bag nose.
Ola disposable.
Ola disposable. They were everywhere. We have the reuse culture. Culturally, our people do not throw anything away. We reuse, in the sense, if there's these chairs, if these chairs are older, what we do is we put it into the back and take another chair
Buy
here.
new ones.
And it will be in the back so that we will use it for some other place. And even pieces of wood will be used for some other place. So recycling as a concept was there in our culture. And our parents, they were very, they never throw things away. It is not because they don't have or they are stingy about it, but they never waste things.
They think that's a waste.
Culturally, we were reuse people. People do not throw things away. No garage sales. No, something like that. If you think about the coconut tree, each and every piece is being used. Always they try to use for some purpose. Now earlier it was little polythene bags. We call it silly bags. Silly means the silly is the little voice when you silly bag. So that came into the picture probably 70s, I think.
Everyone would like it because those paper bags will damage easily.
So people would like, I think, they were asking for more bags to carry. When the supermarkets came into the picture, supermarkets already had that. That was
Recently. No?
Recently, in
Maybe about 10,
90
15 years ago.
10, 15 years, 90s. General supermarkets came to the picture only in mid-90s, I think. We are not very sure about the dates, but around mid-90s. And at that time, they started with this. I think they may be the people who has propagated.
Hi, my name is Nilusha Fernando and I work for a company called Kiel Super. I also am the brand manager and also head the sustainability section of the company. Kiel Super is essentially a supermarket chain that is one of the topmost brands in the country. Right now we have over 82 stores and hoping to expand faster. Discussing in terms of the plastic reduction policies that the company has undertaken, last year was a significant effort, primarily because there was also the Mitodamula incident where there was a garbage dump that affected residents close by. And therefore, there was a ruling that was brought that the type of plastic that we were using needed to change. That being the catalyst event that propelled our company to look at our plastic footprint and how we can possibly reduce it. Some of the key things that we did was we drove our reusable bag concept really hard. We also gave a 4 rupee discount to customers who reuse this bag each and every time they shopped. We did see quite an uptake in this, but this is kind of plateaued right now, and we see that the customer interest in this cause has kind of declined. We've also voluntarily moved to brown paper packaging instead of polythene bag packaging in our bakeries, also as a move to reduce our plastic footprint overall. We've undertaken some staff trainings to ensure that we reduce the use of plastic bag use in our fish and meat counters. Instead, we've provided them with equipment such as tongs so that the use of plastic bags is less. One of the key trends that we've noticed is as the customer penetration into our fresh categories have grown, the use of plastic bags with that has also seen a drastic increase. For example, each customer uses a single bag per vegetable or fruit item. We have tried to introduce a compostable bag and we've tried this to some extent, but we've had to hold it back as the functionality of that bag has not really yet proven itself. But this is one big area that we have found as a challenge to reduce the plastic footprint. Following through with the government's decision to change the type of plastic that is in use, we've decided to go ahead with a campaign that we termed as Switch to Green, Avoid Polythene. And we went big with that towards the latter stages of last year. And the different phases of this campaign was where the customers saw us bringing in the paper bags in our bakery, driving discounts for our reusable bag, and even giving a green discount of 4 rupees for every reuse of our recycling bags. Overall, as a nation, although we did experience the Mitodamula incident, my opinion is that as citizens of this country, we've really not been impacted that badly, and therefore we've not changed our habits, or we are not so aware about the individual plastic or polythene footprint that we leave behind. We've not matured to that level where we do care about a cause as an environment if there is no benefit to us. We would care about it if there is some benefit to us personally, but right now we are at a stage where convenience reigns over all of it. Obviously, there's so much more to be done, which the company is looking at in future years to evaluate the overall plastic use. So far, these are the efforts that we've taken, but overall, John Keel's group, of which we are a fully owned subsidiary, has also embarked upon a recycling initiative which is called Plastic Cycle. And they've placed a couple of plastic cycle recycling bins in our
Here, there's always like, "Oh, okay, no, I can get away and I can maybe, I'll do my own thing, or I'll just throw it on the side of the road."
It's still not being implemented. I don't think there's a sort of regulation for it. So as a result, like everything kind of just gets jumbled up into one thing. And
People which is living here, they should have to like give some kind of studying about these things. Like people have to go and that places and tell these kind of things happen. Even though if someone trying to tell, I don't think people will be, because they don't have, a lot of people don't have that kind of level to think about.
after
these
the
things.
disaster happened, I think a lot of people, maybe, but in my subsection, wanted to start reducing plastic, reducing the waste.
At home, sometimes, people were not sure what is actually, kitchen waste or things that can actually be put in that or not.
I think getting all of that organized, it's extremely confusing. Dividing the garbage, having separate garbage cans.
They were a bit confused because there was no clear thing. This is what you put. These are the things you can put in your kitchen waste. This is what you can put, categorize as polythene and plastic and so
People
on.
have to report also who put these trashes, and then everyone get really good place. It's like this person is put polythene. Okay, I will report this. This guy is like that, and you can report some when you put like this kind of like a a department. You can complain. This guy's put some polythenes or things, and then it's good. It's going to be really nice.
I think it's something that they have to start at home, Basically, even with my kids, I make sure that if they've eaten something, that I put a wrapper in my bag. I said, don't throw it on the road. Take it home, put it in the trash.
I think like even we kind of started adjusting to separating the garbage and being more methodical and stuff like that. So I guess it's a good thing that they're actually getting Sri Lankans to do something properly. So yeah.
I do feel confused because I don't really know where it's going. There's one garbage guy coming to pick up both at the same day. Feels like it's going into the same
Garbage
thing.
collectors will take away like whatever is in your plastic bags.
So because the organization, I must admit I do feel confused. So I'm sure at some point it gets mixed up.
As the world's population continues to grow, so do the amounts of garbage that people produce. On-the-go lifestyles require easily disposable products such as soda cans and bottles of water. However, the accumulation of these products has led to increasing amounts of plastic pollution around the world. As plastic is composed of major toxic pollutants, it has the potential to cause serious harm to the environment by polluting our air, water, and land. Plastic is indeed a useful material, but its harmful toxic compounds are known to cause numerous illnesses. Because plastic is meant for durability, it does not naturally degrade. More than 8.3 billion metric tons of plastic have been produced since the 1950s. Half this number came since 2004. Because plastic does not naturally degrade, the billions of tons sitting in landfills, floating in the oceans, or piling up on city streets will provide a marker if later civilizations ever wish to classify our era. Perhaps they will call our time on Earth the Pleistocene. Estimates show that 5 to 13 million metric tons of plastic enter our oceans each year. Contamination by microplastics in oceans, rivers, streams, and land is increasingly common and severe. Most of the plastics made are no longer in use. Over 6.3 billion metric tons of plastics have been thrown away since 1950. 12% of these have been incinerated, the only method for plastics' permanent disposal. Just 9% has been recycled. Recycling, however, simply delays final disposal. 60%, nearly 4.9 billion metric tons, is still found in landfills or scattered throughout the environment. Plastics are versatile, lightweight, flexible, moisture-resistant, strong, and relatively inexpensive. Those are the attractive qualities that have led us around the world to such a voracious and overconsumptive appetite for plastic goods. However, as they are durable and slow to degrade, plastic materials used in the production of so many products ultimately become waste with ever-staying power. Our tremendous attraction to plastics, coupled with our practices of overconsuming, discarding, littering, and thus polluting, has amounted to a combination of lethal proportions. Some 8 million tons of plastic waste end up in the oceans each year. The World Economic Forum projects there will be more plastic than fish by weight in the oceans by 2050 if current trends continue. Plastic production and disposal generate around 400 million tons of global carbon dioxide each year. Trillions of microplastics end up in the ocean, with seafood eaters ingesting an estimated 11,000 tiny pieces annually. Plastic fibers are found in tap water around the world. The impact on human health from direct exposure to microplastics is not yet known. All it had taken was a moment's distraction. In a well-practiced sleight of hand, the cashier had double-bagged in plastic a dozen eggs, which were already encased by 2 sturdy plastic protective layers. I briefly contemplated appealing for the freedom of my groceries, but chose the path of least resistance. The deed was done, and the purveyors of plastics had won on this occasion. It was not always thus. In the late 1970s, single-use plastic bags were seldom available in grocery stores. Since then, they have become an ever-present part of the exchange of merchandise for money, a free offering to consecrate the ritual. An estimated 1 trillion bags are used each year globally, but they are so seamlessly ingrained into our daily routines that we hardly notice. It is difficult to imagine life without them.
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 Without them. Without them.
Without them.
Without them.
Without them.
Without them.
Without them.
Without them.
Without them.
Without them.